Welcome to OmniUpdate Beginning Training. I'm Justin Stewart, the OmniUpdate Administrator on campus. OmniUpdate is a higher education content management system, or CMS. A popular CMS that you may be familiar with is WordPress. It provides users with document style editing for web pages so that you can edit and manage your website without having to edit the code in the background. OmniUpdate also provides features such as access control and versioning, which ensures the right people are editing the right pages, that any changes can be immediately undone if something goes wrong. In this beginning training screencast, we're going to cover logging into OmniUpdate, editing a page, and pushing the page to the web. I will also provide an overview of the tools available to you in the system, as well as in the page editor. The system works best in Firefox or Chrome, and may not function properly under Internet Explorer. We'll get started by opening a web browser and going to binghamton.edu/training. On the training website, you can find training materials, helpful links, user group session information, contact information, as well as account change request forms. We get started with the initial page, which gives dates, times, and registration information for our OmniUpdate user group, which covers various topics from responsive web design to HTML basics. You will also find contact information here. On the reference and materials page, you will find PDFs containing the training information for both beginner and advanced trainings. There is also a link to the account request form, which you should use anytime you need to make changes to the OmniUpdate account, such as request access to a new section of the website. There is also a link to the OmniUpdate support site, as well as the OmniUpdate help ticket system. You can find a Flickr site of Binghamton University owned images that are available for you to use on your own site. Feel free to browse some of the other resources as well. Now we're going to log into the OmniUpdate system. We'll use some training pages set up for people to practice with. Feel free to practice with these pages as much as you like. They are periodically reset, so you could do anything to mess them up. In the left menu, click on Training Accounts. You will see a list of departments, each named after a letter of the alphabet. Choose any department to use for testing. I'm going to choose Department S because that's the first letter of my last name. You should be looking at the department page, which is a generic page template. The way we log into OmniUpdate system is by scrolling to the bottom of the page and clicking on the last updated link. The login for the training accounts is the department name, department-letter for the username and password. In my case, I will input Department S for the username and password. When you first log into OmniUpdate, it will immediately drop you into the edit view for the page you were on. This is helpful if you just want to make a quick edit and you don't want to navigate around the system just to find the page you want to change. When you log into OmniUpdate, that puts us on the staging server. This is a server maintained by OmniUpdate, housed in California. It holds all our working pages. Whenever you make changes to a page, you can save those changes and they will be saved to the staging server. When you're ready to push your changes out to the public, we publish the changes to the production server. This takes the page that you have edited and pushes it from the staging server over to the production server. The production server is the public-facing server that you see when you go to binghamton.edu. Now we're going to take a closer look at the system overall. Toward the top of the page, you will notice several tabs. One that says Dashboard and one that says Content. click on the Dashboard tab, which will bring you to the OmniUpdate dashboard. There are several different modules that you'll find on Dashboard, but for the intro training, we will focus on just 3. The first feature we're going to look at is the workflow. The only time you need to go into the OmniUpdate workflow page is when you are an approver for someone else's pages. If so, their approval request will show up here. The second feature we're going to look at is the inbox. This is where important system notifications will appear, as well as other relevant OmniUpdate information. The last feature found under the Dashboard tab is the My Checked Out content. The My Checked Out content will list all the pages you're currently working on and have checked out. We will go into how to check out a page a bit later, but the OmniUpdate system has checked out check-in system to ensure only one person is working on a page at a time. Once you have a page checked out, no one else could work on that page until you check it back in. This can be extremely helpful if you're going on vacation and want to make sure you checked back all your pages so someone else can edit them. Now I'd like you to take a look at the tabs at the top of the page. By clicking on the tab labeled Content, you will be taken back to your web pages. You will notice that the view is different than before. This is the Pages view and lists all the pages in your current folder. OmniUpdate permission system is folder-based, not page-based, so if you have permissions to edit one file in the folder, you could also edit any other file in the same folder. The first thing you should notice is that there's 2 files, maybe more if someone else has been editing in this folder. There should be an _left nav and an index.pcf. Every folder using the new template should have these 2 files in them. Index.pcf is your home file. If someone puts in the URL of your folder without a page name, it will automatically go to the index.pcf. You may be more familiar with the .html extension. Once we are done editing our pages and ready to publish it to the production server, the .pcf will be changed to .html. To edit the page, we'll first need to check it out. We could do this by clicking on the light bulb in the menu item next to the page. Once you click on the light bulb, it will light up and several other options will appear. When the light bulb is lit, no one else can edit this page. If someone else were to have checked the page out, it will appear as a red lock, letting you know that someone else has the page checked out. You can hover your mouse over the lock and the name of the person who has the page checked out will appear. Some of the options available are the ability to edit the page properties, preview the page as it would look in the web browser, compare the page to a previous version, which we will review later, publish the page, rename it, make a copy of it, or move the page to another folder. You will also notice the trash can icon. There are 2 different versions of the trash can icon. One looks like a recycling bin, like you see here, and the other looks like a trash can. If you click on the icon that looks like a trash can, that permanently deletes the item. Since we have the page checked out, let's go ahead and edit it. We could go into Edit View by clicking on the page name. This will bring up a view with buttons showing you the editable regions in the page. Select which region you want to edit by clicking on the button. They should bring up the editor. Make sure that you're using either Firefox or Chrome. At the top of the editor is the Content toolbar. This should look somewhat familiar. In addition to basic formatting options such as italic, bold, and underline, there are a few additional options you may not be familiar with, which we are going to go over. I'd like you to draw your attention to the Save icon. Anytime you want to save a working draft of your page, you can click on the Save icon. And it will save the page for later without publishing it. Keep in mind that saving the page does not make it viewable to the users coming to your site. Using the Save feature allows you to work on the page in several sessions rather than all at once. Now I'd like to draw your attention to the icon with a chain link in it. This is for creating web links in your page. You could highlight a bit of text, click the chain icon, and input the page. For pages outside of Binghamton University, you will need to input the HTTP portion of the URL. For example, google.com. For pages within the binghamton.edu domain, you should enter /domain, for example, /admissions. You could also select the icon at the end of the text field to navigate to an internal link within the system. You could remove the link by hiding the link's text and clicking the chain breaking icon. In addition to basic text editor options, we also have styles that you could apply to your text for different kinds of headers. As with the link button, you could highlight the text you want to become a header and select style you want to apply. Think of headers in terms of an outline with one header 1 as the main header, and then include H2s for every subsection and include H3 and H4 headers as you need. Due to greater focus on branding initiatives, we do not supply styles outside of these. A few additional notes about the editor. You will notice that when you press Enter on your keyboard, it creates a new paragraph. To insert just a line break, Shift Enter. Also, if you're used to using keyboard shortcuts such as Ctrl+S for save and Ctrl+I for italics, all these shortcuts will work in the editor. Once you've created your page and got exactly how you want it, we're going to save the page. You could save using the save icon or Ctrl+S to save the page. We're going to click on Publish Now so that we could publish our page live to the production server. You notice that there are options to run spell check and a link check, and also to validate your HTML if you use custom HTML on your page. Lastly, because OmniUpdate keeps a backup version of every page you've published, you can provide a version description to make finding the page version you want to restore easier. Restoring pages from previous versions is covered in more detail in the advanced OmniUpdate training. Now that the web page is published, let's check it out in the browser. Notice that all the new OmniUpdate templates are responsive, meaning that they adjust the page format to display nicely on a desktop or mobile. You have now completed the OmniUpdate beginning training. All the training materials will always be available to you on Blackboard. Although we recommend taking the advanced training also on Blackboard, it is not required. You can now take the quiz found on the OmniUpdate Blackboard page. Once you have received 100% on that quiz, which you can take as many times as you like, the system will notify an administrator and they can create your account. You should receive an email regarding your new OmniUpdate account in less than 2 business days. Thank you, and happy editing.